Her dad is ex-military and liberal. It ended with her dad coming over and screaming for 2 hours at Beardo.
Daddy, chill.
Hello, friends, buddies, dudes, welcome back. Stop me if you've heard this one, okay? A feminist and a neckbeard become roommates. It's a 3-part saga that never got finished. But I figured we should slap it up here for posterity's sake because it is the top NeckbeardStories post of all time ever on that subreddit. I read it a little bit in the Stinkbeard video 2 years ago, but that was only the first part, so I figured I'd reread the first part, shove the second and third parts in there. We'll see how it goes. I live with a feminist and a neckbeard. Do you think it went well? I'm sure it went well. Hello, Reddit. Recently stumbled onto this sub. After spending an embarrassing amount of time laughing and cringing, I couldn't not tell you about the gold mine that has been my living situation for the past 6 months. And this is user Third Wheel Beardhouse, so presumably created specifically to tell this tale. Warning on phone can't format. Made this account because my beard roommate knows my main and it has personal stuff tied to it. Then I guess he forgot the password or lost interest. Because yeah, after 3 parts, he's like, yeah, screw it. I'm a 23-year-old dude trying to figure out WTF to do with my life who got lucky enough to score this awesome place. Great location, great rent price, great building. Apparently what happened was a pipe burst and the tenants had to emergency move while it was being fixed. Apparently 2/3 of the previous tenants found other places, and one, the feminist, had paid her rent way in advance, but was backpacking when it was ready, so she let the landlord choose who would move in. I just got lucky. Landlord owed Neckbeard's parents a favor. She's 24, he's 27. Alright, so we're dealing with some fully grown adults who are about to learn some hard life lessons. You gotta have a lot of faith in the landlord to be like, yeah, you pick the new roommate. Nah, man, that seems like something that I should have a hand in. Wait till I come back from backpacking, how about? A small list of incidents so far. My first day moving in and meeting him, Beardo attempts to bond over furry prawn because of my werewolf apocalypse book. It is not nearly the same thing.
Bro, didn't you know that I'm actually secretly a werewolf?
I can't control the beast inside!
What do you want to bet? Feminist is vegan, Beardo spiked her food, and she got sick for a day. Wow, seems like she's vegan for good reason. Very uncool, Beardo. Then again, did I expect him to be cool? Not really. Beardo attempted the silent treatment over Fem, bringing male friends over. When that didn't work, he threw a tantrum. They were probably enjoying the silent treatment. Feminist was an ironworker's apprentice, then a plumber's apprentice. Now she's going into nursing school. Beardo attempted to educate her on
why women shouldn't work.
And so she, I guess, deliberately in response blew the fuses in the apartment so that Beardo and myself, to be honest, couldn't game and made him apologize. He didn't know about circuit breakers. Oh, poor little guy. Didn't stand a chance. Did you know about the circuit breakers, OP? Were you just on board with the forced apology? Not a very cool thing to do on her part. You've taken it from words to actions. Yeah, he said some shitty words. You can pretty easily disregard those. We don't need to escalate. But whatever, live your life, I guess. Beardo's ideals seem to fluctuate between incel/red pill to intense, chivalrous, and milady BS. I never really know what I'm gonna hear about or how Fem is going to be approached that day. Well, at the very least, I'll say it's nice that his hope is renewed every single day. He's like, I'll try it again, just a little bit different. Feminist made me show Beardo how to do laundry because you're another friggin' man and he friggin' reeks, and do you think he's gonna listen to a friggin' woman? It took an hour and it was awful. And he doesn't use detergent when he does it. I tried. It's really not your job. Trying is the best that we can do. He attempts to male bond with me. I'm also rather nerdy, but it usually comes back to why women don't like him. And they just bitches and chivalry, and all I can do is smile and nod. He won't take any advice. He's just too much of a nice guy. Sad, because I've seen that he could be a cool dude if only he would straighten up. Yeah, but that takes a good long look in the mirror that I don't think he's ready for. And if you're not ready at age 27, I don't know if you're ever gonna be ready. You're never too old for self-reflection, but I do see people getting set in their ways after a little while. If I bring any girl over, any girl, friend or otherwise, Beardo will insult the hell out of me and try to be smooth to her, and it's just creepy. He's also asked for their numbers, if he can have them when I'm done, and for sexual details. Just no. God. What a disaster of a human being. Can I have them when you're done? Don't ever talk to me again. Could you be more transparent? He attempted to set a moral code in the apartment over Feminist drinking, bringing her friends with benefits over, and walking around in short shorts. It's fine for us to drink and walk around in boxers, though. Feminist, of course, told him where he could go. Yes, as usual, the moral code is for you and not me. I'm offended by the way you're living. You have to change everything, but me, no. I'm good. I'm comfortable with how I am. Doesn't having a code mean sacrificing things? At this point, you're just making words. You're calling it a code to make it seem important, when really it's just stupid words from your stupid brain. Beardo also tried to host an intervention over Feminist drinking on the weekends. This included somehow getting her parents' info and calling her dad. Jesus. Her dad is ex-military and liberal. It ended with her dad coming over and screaming for 2 hours at Beardo.
Daddy, chill.
You'll love to see it. Then Feminist came home, surprised to see her dad, learned what Beardo did, and then they both proceeded to scream at him for at least another 20 minutes, at which point I had to go to work. Yeah, I would remove myself from this situation post-haste. Feminist is bad at doing dishes and cleaning in general. Fortunately, I'm pretty slack and bad at them too, but Beardo took it upon himself to nag Feminist after leaving some bowls and a pot over the weekend. Feminist barged into his room and snapped a bunch of pictures of the filth and threatened to send them to the landlord and his mother. Yeah, we're getting all the parents involved now. He apologized. Fem sent the pictures anyways, and his mother was over yelling and making him clean. I stayed at a friend's overnight. Sounds like a really hostile living situation, OP. I don't know how you put up with it for as long as you did. To be honest, I'm genuinely unsure if Beardo likes Feminist or hates her, or if because she's female, he feels a need to be something to her. She's definitely not your usual beard bait. She's cute, but she's loud and tall and has a really intense personality. I'm still confused by it. I think Feminist is too. She's the one that half-jokingly said, it's like I'm the kid caught between two parents who are staying together just for me. Now, don't do this for my sake. I gotta get up and out. Well, that's a quick summary. I'll have to write more, but my thumbs are getting tired. Hope it's entertaining. If you like it, I'll be sure to write some more, or more about these moments. It's strange to me that Feminist has a military dad that just never made her clean. Is it being fastidious like part of the whole thing? I guess not. I'm ex-Navy. I keep it to like a bare minimum standard. But I would say that this dude definitely wants to be with the Feminist.
He can tame her wild ways.
Unfortunately, we never truly get an ending, but we'll head on into part 2 and see how it goes. Feminist, Beardo, and I, butthole beginnings. Is that your mouth? I guess the beginning of your butthole is your mouth, right? Hello, Reddit. I'm quite surprised by the response that my little submission got. I meant to update sooner, but there was a recent development. Feminist reads this subreddit. I shouldn't be surprised. It's fine, but I did get an earful as she was justifiably upset that I used her details, and she was worried that she could be identified. I felt quite bad, so a heads up, I have her permission after the fact, lol, and will be truthful, but I will be altering some details for privacy. I think there's such a thing as being overly cautious. There's no identifying information at all. But yeah, I'll know better safe than sorry, I guess. The beginning. Oh, we're going back. Way back. I'd been living in a teardown, and the time had finally come where my roommates and I had to hunt for new homes. I live in a city with a ridiculous demand for housing, so if you can find any kind of half-decent deal, you take it. Heh, coastal cities, am I right? I ended up going to see a few places before getting super lucky with this one. It's in a great part of the city, less than 40 minutes to my work, good rent. The floor and walls were all new, from the repairs to the pipe. The landlord phoned me the next day and said it was mine if I could get him the deposit. The only downside was that I wouldn't be able to meet my roommates before moving in. However, I did not care. That's fair enough. Do what you gotta do to keep a roof over your head, you know? I literally ran out of the restaurant, I work in a kitchen, at the end of my shift to go get the deposit paid. And then I was good to move in on the 1st of the next month. A brand new journey, a harrowing adventure awaits. Moving day comes, the landlord is there to give me the keys. He explains that I'd have the place to myself for a bit. One roommate wouldn't be moving in for another 2 days, and the one who lived there currently would be another week. Alright, sweet. This deal keeps getting better and better, so I get myself comfy. Yes, enjoy the 2 days of solitude before it all comes crashing down. I don't own too much stuff, but I'll confess I'm not the most organized or fastest mover. Plus, there was still a bunch of household stuff that I later learned Feminist had left behind when she was living elsewhere. So I left a few boxes of stuff in the living room while I was getting settled in my bedroom. I had every intention to get them out of there before anyone else moved in, but I also had every intention of being a millionaire at 19, so I wouldn't have to figure my life out. And here we are. You cut me real deep with that, you know? Human experiences. So after a few days of peace and sloth, I finish my shift, come home, eager for couch, TV, and mindlessly scrolling Facebook, and I find a man standing in my living room over one of my boxes, holding one of my books. Oh yeah, just fucking help yourself. That's why I left it there, weirdo. I paused. I'm not sure if I was taking in the scene or just waiting to be noticed. This place is a 3-bedroom, but it's not so large that you can miss the sound of a door opening and closing. Not to mention, there's something to be expected when you've just busted someone snooping in all your shit. Some sneakiness maybe? But no, pure chill, pure obliviousness, pure faint, musty scent emanating. I mean, he clearly doesn't give a damn about his own health or hygiene, so I don't know why we expect that he'd give a damn about breaching the social contract in other ways. OP says, "Hey, hi." Beardo snapped too, and seeing me staring, probably pretty vacantly, a smirk crept over his pale face.
"And greetings to you, fellow apartment dweller."
Ew. He drops the book, my nice hardcover book. Yeah. Hey, so I guess you're one of the roommates, eh?
"Indeed. I am Neckis Beardus Somewhatus Awkwardus, but you may call me Beardo."
He shoved a pink, fleshy paw at me. Alright, the power play here is not to shake his hand and ask him point blank why he was going through your stuff. You probably get a stupid answer. You have to pretend to accept it to keep the peace in the house. But it will send a message that you're not to be trifled with. Hey, Beardo, I'm OP. I took his hand limply. He then proceeded to squeeze the living shit out of my hand and yank my arm from its socket. I assume that this was an intended handshake. See, he's trying to exert his dominance. First impressions count, man. Always the first thing you should do. Let him know where the line is. Beardo says,
"I'm thrilled."
Ow, ow! Jesus, careful, dude. I yanked my hand back.
I didn't intend that. You can tell a lot about a man by his handshake."
He smirked again. I don't think that's true. I'll judge you on the basis of how you act. There's a difference between a firm handshake and an overcompensating, crushing death grip. OP says, yeah, well, My handshake says that I've been at work all day and I'm tired. I work in a kitchen and I get burnt and smash my hands all the time, so I'm really not into the bone-crushing handshakes. Already, I wasn't liking this guy, and in the 30 seconds that we had interacted, he definitely wasn't winning any points with me. I'm normally a big believer in not judging books by their covers, because having some nerdy interests myself, this wasn't my first encounter with a neckbeard, and it certainly wasn't the most pleasant. Did you sign a lease? Can you move out? Just be like, yeah, next month I'm out of here.
Touche. I'll let this one slide then.
I said nothing, and bent over to pick up the box and haul it into my room.
Your books?
No, they were here when I moved in. What the hell? Yeah, it's got my name on the box.
Fellow reader, I couldn't help but notice some of the nature of the material.
Now his voice was full of mirth, and the smirk was just reaching stupid proportions. I was starting to get really annoyed at this point. I had had a long shift. I was tired, I smelled like oily potatoes, and I come home to someone deliberately going through my things. Plus, I knew this box, my nerd books. If we were going purely on appearances here, this asshole wouldn't be the one to judge. Seems like you feel a little self-conscious about it, OP. You ain't gotta defend yourself to me. I grunted in reply and dumped the box into my room, walking back out to shove the rest of them in, and Beardo is still grinning at me. Creep.
No ill intent or judgment. I'm known to partake too.
Oh, cool. Another nerd. Somehow I wasn't surprised. Not sure if it was the translucent skin dotted with zits, the threadbare Invader Zim t-shirt, the greasy ponytail, or the complete lack of muscle tone, but somehow, yeah, I would have guessed. I gotta wonder why he'd go and introduce himself to new people dressed like this. You worked so hard on your bone-crushing handshake, can't you put a little of that into your appearance? Beardo is beaming at this point.
In fact, this is some new favorite material of mine.
He whipped out his phone and shoved it into my face. Now, Norm MacDonald, may he rest in peace, has a bit about that one moment that will linger in the memories of all who knew you after you die. For me, this was that. First impressions are everything, and for the rest of mine and Beardo's life, I would forever associate him with assuming that I was into furries and shoving a cartoon image of a bright red fox-human hybrid bending over, spreading her butt cheeks for his viewing pleasure. God bless the human subconscious. Well, there's a picture that ain't going away. Dude, no! I spluttered. God damn it. I don't know what made you think I was into that, but man, you do you. Furries are not my thing, man. Sorry, not to be rude, but no. No, you are not the one that should be apologizing in this situation. Because he saw a werewolf book, he's like, yeah, check out this fox lady's beehole. What are you doing?
Get that nasty shit out of my face!
I may as well have backed my car over Beardo's childhood hopes and dreams, if I could afford a car, and if his hopes and dreams involved a roommate who would jerk it to Animal Planet with him. His face, from delight and amusement to bewildered sorrow.
But your book, Wolves.
You're aware you can like werewolves without wanting to, be involved with a werewolf. My, what? This? I grabbed the book that he'd been clutching when I walked in. Dude, this is a role-playing book, like D&D. It's were animals, but it's definitely not furry porn. I flipped through Werewolf the Apocalypse to show him. I mean, yeah, there's some female character art, but it's not porn. I like how there's a caveat there, but he's like, it's still not, though.
Oh, well,
Now I was just feeling secondhand embarrassment and kind of guilty and really just all around uncomfortable about having this stranger flashing their adult animated cartoon pictures at me. He was flushing beet red, and I just really wanted this interaction to be over. Yep, it's time to move out. This ain't gonna go well. Look, never mind. It's cool. To each their own. No judgments, but I'm just not into it. Are we good?
Yeah, we good.
He mumbled and scurried towards his room. OP really trying to uphold this social contract. As far as I'm concerned, we're never going to be good again. I will avoid you at every opportunity. Do you understand? Not we good, but do you know why I'm going to avoid you in the future? I grabbed another one of my boxes. And don't go through more of my stuff, I yelled. His door slammed shut. And that was our humble beginning. I'm not much of a writer, but I tried. Next time, Feminist comes home drunk. My goodness, a 24-year-old woman having a drink? How uncouth! OP is only 23 at this time, so I don't expect him to understand setting the social boundary as soon as you meet somebody. But this would have been good practice for that, you know? The crazy part is we haven't even added the Feminist into the mix yet. It's already so far off the rails. We've already seen the large intestines of a human fox hybrid woman. Where could we possibly go from here? I guess we should find out. Feminist, Beardo, and I meeting her and meeting her. Is that typo? What the hell's going on there? Hello again. My bad for taking so long. I want to have some excuse or say there was something fun in my life, but I don't know. I'm just a lazy bastard. I can tell. I'm not going to judge you on that. I sort of am too. Anyways, onwards. Warning, this is long because I didn't know how to condense it without explaining the full situation well enough and what happened before things completely turned to trash. I did my best to remember as much as I could. Anyway, picking up where I left off. Actually, a half hour or something later, chilling in my room. I might be cranky, but I can chill out quickly. A few things entered my head. One, the living room was full of boxes, and I had a head start to unpack or move all my stuff into my room before anyone else got here, but instead, my lazy ass did not. Yeah, that's not very good practice. I understand procrastination, but you have to set a deadline for yourself. I probably wouldn't have at 23 either, though. So Beardo was moving in today. His boxes were on top of or around mine, and it's possible he thought that one of mine was his and just didn't see my name. Two, maybe I overreacted a little. I've definitely been in situations with guys where we've talked about our tastes before without knowing each other too well, so maybe it was just someone's kink coupled with my privacy being invaded, or so I assumed, and that set me off. And third, I hate the Sunday brunch shift. I felt bad. What exactly do you have to feel bad about here? You're making up excuses on his behalf? He could have just said, oh, my bad, I thought this was my box. Just made any attempt to cover his own ass, but he didn't. He stood there with his mouth open and drooling all down the front of his shirt. And now you're gonna make excuses for him and feel guilty about it? Nah, dude. Nah. OP says, I could hear Beardo outside, unpacking and moving his things. I opened my door. He snapped to, with wide eyes. He still looked embarrassed. Now I really felt like a dick. Hey, sorry about earlier. I'm kind of moody when I'm done with work, and
yes, I must apologize. I did not see your name, and I had thought that the box was my belongings, and
yeah, I realized that after, and I wasn't thinking, and I should have gotten all my stuff dealt with, and
not at all. I must accept some blame for...
And it went on for a hot minute of us swapping apologies until the air felt clear enough to start fresh. Nobody brought up the porn. Good, great. We're moving forward amicably, kind of. Just because nobody brought it up doesn't mean that anybody's forgotten about it. So we got talking. As it turned out, he was pretty cool. We had a few hobbies in common, liked similar games, except he liked PC gaming over consoles, and I'm the opposite. He used to play D&D, but he had never played any World of Darkness, but he was pretty excited when I explained it to him, and soon we were making loose plans and throwing around ideas of maybe hosting a campaign at our place. Yep, nerd dude bonding really is that easy. He definitely had that overly formal way of speaking that I find kind of awkward and hard to swallow, but I found out that it came out in his interest in medieval history and Renaissance fair, which is where he met his lady. Ah, good old fair flirts, I remember. Have you ever seen someone light up? I remember the whole time it seemed like he was trying to steer the conversation somewhere. As soon as he mentioned his girlfriend, bam, target hit. So, how long you two been going out?
5 months, my friend. 5 incredible months.
Well, I'm happy you're happy, I guess. You don't even need to steer the conversation there. Just drop it as a non sequitur. Dude went on to give me the whole long story. I can't remember every detail, but they met at a Renaissance medieval fair. She lives in a town a few hours away, and she was, quote,
the most beautiful lady
that he had ever seen. Well, that's kind of nice, isn't it? She turns out to be fake, doesn't she? He went on to explain how they'd been talking online ever since, and he had gone to visit her monthly, and how she inspired him to be
a man worthy of her heart.
Sounds positive. Sounds good things. Basically, he had moved homes into this place because he had been living somewhere even crappier before, how he had started a side business fixing computers and phones to make some extra money, and how he had started working out and eating better and all that crap. It was really fucking boring. Wow, OP, you're kind of a douche. Can't we applaud these positive changes in his life? Or you're just waiting for your turn to talk? I think I'm getting a fuller picture now. But honestly, I do remember being kind of wowed by how into this girl he was. And I was maybe a little jealous. Let's just say that I had been single for a while. I don't care, OP. I'm gonna throw your words right back at you and say that's really fucking boring. We got him! So I asked the right questions and oohed and awed when he showed me all the selfies of them on his phone. Oh, she does exist. Or he's really good at Photoshop. And when he asked me if it would be okay if his lady came to see the new place once he got it set up, he looked like a kid on Christmas when I said it was fine with me. But maybe you should wait until you can ask the other roommate. He looked like I had just crushed his dreams. Then triumph spread across his face.
I shall ask landlord for the contact details of our fellow roommate, and I will ask as soon as possible.
Do you think that landlord will give you her contact details? I mean, yeah, actually, I guess that's reasonable, considering we don't know when she's moving in.
Indeed.
Oh boy, giving a Neckbeard a milady's number? It could go south pretty quickly whether he's
betrothed to another
or not. Landlord did reply pretty quick. Actually, he sent me a text with Feminist's contact info as well. I figured I'd send her an email too, introducing myself and asking exactly what day she'd be moving in. Isn't she already moved in? There's just like a pipe burst. She left for a little while. Whatever. I went out to meet a friend for the rest of the afternoon, partly to avoid Beardo's eager anxiety over waiting for her to reply. She did, a few hours later, to both of us, saying that it was fine, just give her the dates and she'd be coming home on X day, and to go ahead and use any of the kitchen stuff that she had left there. I already had, honestly. Again, help yourself. I think that's why OP didn't like this Beardo touching his comics and stuff. It's hard looking into the mirror. You only see the things about this guy that you hate about yourself. I always love when I can peel back the narrative a little more. When I walked back in the door that night, I walked into a fireball of nerd ping-ponging off the walls. His lady had been given permission and what days were okay with me. We ended up deciding that if Feminist was coming home on X day, then girlfriend should come on Y day to give Feminist some time to settle in. Why not before she gets home? Then you don't have to really disrupt anything, right? Ugh, okay, so the next few days were, annoying. If every mother on the planet had gotten together to clean for guests, they couldn't have out-panicked Beardo. I was glad to go to work to escape the nervous nerdery, rearranging the place 8 different ways a minute, trying to make it perfect for the princess who would be gracing us with her presence. I actually heard him say,
I googled how to feng shui a bathroom. Do you think we can move the toilet?
I don't think that's advisable. Like, yeah, you can move it, but it's not connected to the pipe anymore. You'll just be shitting all over the floor. This dude obviously had it really bad. He's sprung off that fair girl's booty. And what was worse, even though we didn't know it was an unfortunate thing, was X Day had arrived and Feminist wasn't home. I can't help but wonder if she had arrived on time, if things might have been different in what happened next. Oh boy. Feminist shot us an apology text saying that she was in the country, but was staying at a friend's for the night. Okay, no big deal. Beardo was too buzzed to care about that at all either. He was torn between being so incredibly anxious and so incredibly proud of himself and the apartment, and to show off girlfriend to me and to show girlfriend the little life he built for himself. I volunteered to Clopen, which is closing the place and then working the early breakfast shift. What a nightmare. Just so I wouldn't have to be around his nerves. Yeah, and probably give him a little space so he can bang it out and stuff, you know? That's the real bro play right there. I wasn't trying to be a dick. It was cute and all that, but after about 30 minutes, I'm not the best at handling anxiety, especially with people that I don't know very well. Yeah, your third wheeling is good to get out of there. Don't you have a room that you can shut yourself into? But then you might just be trapped in there while the Beardo and his milady bang on the couch. So, yeah, probably just getting out of the house is good. Let's do that. Coming home from the breakfast shift, I wasn't sure what I'd be walking into, but I was incredibly entertained at the scene. Having heard the door close, I walked in to see a girl sitting on the couch, Beardo on his feet, dressed in medieval gear finest, white puffy shirt, high pants, big boots and belt, chest puffed like a bagpiper's wet dream. I bit my lip hard.
OP! Fellow!
Oh, Beardo has a loud voice in general, but that bombast.
I would like you to meet my dame. This is girlfriend. Girlfriend, this is OP.
Hi, good to meet you. I'm gonna go away now.
Hello, OP. Lovely to meet you.
She stuck her hand out like I should kiss it. No, sorry, hon. Hey, how you doing? I grabbed her hand and shook it instead. She looked a bit disappointed. What the hell for? You really just trying to live that fair life 24/7? It's weird. It's really weird. It's nice to meet you finally. Beardo's told me a lot about you. Not sure when you'll get to meet Feminist, though.
Feminist? Is that a girl's name?
Uh-oh. Not a good tone. Yeah, you see her mind just spinning a million miles a minute. What followed next was the most intense, frantic bout of explaining on the planet. Beardo scrambling for,
did he not say the other roommate was a girl? Oh dear, he must have, or maybe he forgot. But if he did, it was an accident, and if that's a problem, but if it is, we can be friends to be a hero. What's a girl, Pierre, her elf, boy, punk, off, well, bone, Patrick, Flaskin, 297, wounds, Biag, can, vinegar, sage, brag.
Anyway, she seemed to be reassured. Great, me too. Like a hero, I scuttled away to not get involved. The rest of the day was uneventful. I did whatever I do during the day, and they waltzed in and out, and I learned that the walls here are thin, and that Beats by Dre headphones are magic for blocking out the sound of two obese people banging. I mean, Beats by Dre are kind of garbage, but you do you. All was peaceful-ish, all was calm and kind of greasy. I was tired as all hell from the clopen made by Satan, and I passed out early, blissfully unaware of the drunken shitstorm about to blow up in my kitchen. What's that mean? Feminist is home? The breakfast shift isn't so bad. You just need a good night of sleep to get through it. The restaurant caters to a lot of retirees and is near some warehouses, so we get a lot of people very early in the morning. I don't mind. Makes the time go by quick. I just need to get enough sleep, especially after I just did a clopen. Feminist had other plans, however. Does nobody here have a job besides OP? I got a lot of questions. I was jolted awake in the dead of the night by the sound of a herd of elephants running the Indy 500 with cymbals attached to their butts. Flinging my door open, I discovered that I was mistaken, and it was only Trent Reznor trying to break the record for the most facial piercings and a Google image search for festival girl making instant noodles. They spun around.
Roommate, oh my god, I'm so sorry to wake you up. I feel bad. I'm Feminist, and this is Piers.
So Feminist is the festival girl? Honestly, the Google image search for festival girl is not completely disgusting to me. OP confirms, yeah, she was obviously drunk as hell. Yeah, hi. Good to meet you, but I need to get up for work in like 3 hours. Can you guys keep it down?
Yeah, oh god, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get drunk. Some friends wanted to take me out. I was traveling and
Yeah, okay. It's cool. Just, chill. Just then, another door opened. Beardo and girlfriend stepped out. Jesus Christ, it's 2 a.m. There's nobody work in this house. Feminist lit up.
oh wow, hi roommates. I didn't realize we had another girl. I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun.
Girlfriend did not look amused. Actually, she looked upset.
No, I'm just visiting. Beardo should have told you.
Beardo didn't tell it, probably because he didn't want to torpedo his chances. Or no, wait, he did tell her. She's just drunk. And then off Feminist went on some tangent about how
she totally forgot, but it's nice to meet you, etc., etc.
Girlfriend said nothing. Beardo started panicking, trying to get girlfriend back to bed. This was bad. Why is it bad? A little awkward, not bad. Not yet. Pierce continued to say nothing.
Is he your boyfriend?
No, we're just friends.
Girlfriend's face soured even more. Beardo clearly was panicked and continued trying to convince her to just go back to bed. Yeah, that'll fix it all if we just go to sleep and forget.
You know what, Beardo? Yeah, let's go back to bed.
She stormed off into his room. Feminist remained oblivious and had eyes only for her microwave noodles. Pierce had wrapped himself around Fem. I took advantage of this quiet moment to steal away into my room for some of those much-needed Z's before I had to get up in T-minus 3 hours. Now you know what you're in for. Well, welcome to my nightmare. This is only day 1, but it's all that we get. Yeah, right. Remember the walls being thin? Well, I'll forever curse myself for leaving my headphones in the living room that night and was instead introduced to the sweet mashup of the soothing sounds of the token couple of Fedoraville fighting and crying about lies and dishonesty and pleading eternal love coming from one bedroom, and then a drunk, angry sex brigade coming from the other. I started wondering if my job would just let me sleep in the sink. That'll save you some time on the commute. Probably on the rent, too. It's not a bad idea, actually. I must have been able to pass out at some point because I was suddenly jolted out of the sweet release of nothing and right back into the fresh hell of being a wage slave. Oof. At least it was quiet as I dragged my sorry butt up and prepared for the breakfast shift, wondering what god I had displeased or how many orphans I might have killed in a past life. By the end of that shift, I'd gotten yelled at enough times to make a drill sergeant cry, pissed off every waitress by screwing up every order, and my blood was like 70% coffee. I hated everything and planned a speech to the letter that I was going to unleash on my roommates and their respective slam pieces as soon as they were within my eye shot. I guess OP is short-tempered enough to not put up with this for very long, but to me it seems like he's more short-tempered in his head than he is in reality, you know? We will never find out if he gave that speech, but I like to think that he did. And that is, I was totally going to, until I walked in to Beardo, standing in the kitchen, holding a mug, staring bleakly at nothing. Beardo? He didn't blink. He didn't react. He just wordlessly turned his head, his eyes hollow and dry.
She went home.
Oh no, he lost the love of his life. Now he needs a replacement. I haven't got to the part where Beardo goes full beard, nor will we ever, but I wanted to get something else out there. I hope I did a good enough job of explaining. I'm trying to remember everything from months ago, so I hope it's coming across. This all happened over the course of like a week and a half. Doesn't really matter, because that's all we get of this story. It would have made like such a good sitcom, you know? We could have gone on for 50 episodes, and I would have enjoyed it. Eventually, I probably would have started turning on the OP because I could see you deep down to your core. But I guess all of those things happened in an alternate timeline where OP did continue this story. For now, this is all we get, and I'm pretty happy with it. If you want to go check out the longest series, that 50-part saga that I was telling you about, we have the Chris Trucker playlist right here. Go check it out. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.